Hey, fiction fiends. Have you ever heard of Ravenswood? It's a small town with a dark past. Legend has it that the town was cursed by a witch who was burned at the stake over 300 years ago. Ever since then, strange things have been happening in Ravenswood, and people have gone missing without a trace, or reported terrifying encounters. One such person was Mika. She was a young woman who went to Ravenswood to investigate the town's haunted past. But what she found was beyond her wildest nightmares. In this video, we'll share Mika's story and the horrors she faced in Ravenswood. But beware, this story is not for the faint of heart. Are you ready to hear about the dark secrets of Ravenswood? Then keep watching. It was a dark, stormy night, and Mika was driving home from work. She had taken a shortcut through the woods to avoid the traffic on the main road. As she drove deeper into the forest, she noticed that the trees had grown thicker and closer together, casting eerie shadows on the road. Suddenly, a figure appeared in the middle of the road. Mika slammed on the brakes, but it was too late. She hit the figure with a sickening thud. Shaken and disoriented, she got out of her car to check on the person she had hit. But when she got closer, she realized that it wasn't a person at all. It was a scarecrow. Mika breathed a sigh of relief and laughed nervously at her own overreaction. But as she turned to get back into her car, she heard a rustling in the woods behind her. She spun around but saw nothing. She shrugged it off as her imagination and got back in her car. As she drove on, the rain picked up, battering against her windshield and making it hard to see. She slowed down to a crawl, and that's when she noticed a sign by the side of the road that read, "Welcome to Ravenswood." She had never heard of the place before, but she figured it must be a small town nearby. As she drove deeper into Ravenswood, the storm worsened and the roads became more treacherous. Mika's visibility was almost zero, and she was afraid she would crash into a tree. Suddenly, she saw a light in the distance. It was a house, and it looked abandoned. Mika pulled up to the front of the house and got out of her car. She ran up to the door and tried the handle. It was unlocked. She pushed it open and stepped inside. The interior of the house was dark and musty. Cobwebs hung from the ceiling, and the floorboards creaked beneath her feet. As she walked through the house, she felt a sense of unease creeping over her. It was as if she wasn't alone. Suddenly, she heard a whisper. She turned around, but no one was there. She heard it again, louder this time. The voice said. Mika felt a chill run down her spine. She turned to leave, but the door was locked. She was trapped. She heard footsteps coming closer. And then a figure emerged from the shadows. It was a woman, with long black hair and a pale, ghostly complexion. She had a knife in her hand. Mika tried to scream, but no sound came out. The woman walked closer and closer until she was standing right in front of her. Mika was paralyzed with fear. The woman leaned in and whispered in Mika's ear. "You shouldn't have come here." Mika woke up in her car, parked on the side of the road. The storm had passed and the sun was rising. She looked around, confused and disoriented. She tried to remember how she had gotten there, but all she could recall was the abandoned house in Ravenswood. She shuddered and turned on her car. As she drove away, she saw a sign by the side of the road that read, "Welcome to Ravenswood." She stepped on the gas and didn't look back. Well, fiction fiends, that's it for today's adventure. I hope you had fun exploring the spooky and the unknown with me. If you did, make sure to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more thrilling and creepy content. Until next time, remember to keep your lights on and your doors locked. You never know what might be lurking in the darkness.